I want him to try to take him now. All right, we're going to try to take him on that long straight so that we can ditch Gasly as quickly as possible. And so, oh no! Award! You're terrible! You idiot! You are an idiot!
Contact with the wall. And that won't do their confidence any good.
Welcome to Mexico, and here are the results for qualifying. We've got the Red Bulls, we've got Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Lando, Sergio Perez, Piastri, and then currently the points leader in Carlos Sainz starting 6th. And if we look down here, we have a couple people who have some penalties that they've got to take. We also have a penalty that we're going to have to take as well because we ran out of ERSs. You saw in Austin that we could not keep a charge in our ERS, and so we had to go and replace it. And so we had to spend $5 million, $2.5 million that we didn't have, and then $2.5 million in penalties because we're beyond the cost cap at this point with 5 races remaining. And so Pato Award is actually going to start behind Grosjean today. All right, so we have the red lights on, and they are out. There we go, lights out, and away we go. We've got 71 laps here in Mexico. We have Grosjean starting 14th. Award ends up starting 18th with his penalties. And now it's a game of can we make up spots with Award. We are having to 3-stop today. We just don't have the tire saving ability to not 3-stop. So with Award, I'm just going to show you guys real quick as we're in our opening laps. We've got a lot of mediums to run through. So we've got medium, soft, medium, medium, medium. And then for Grosjean, we've got soft, medium, soft, soft. He had a lot of softs left as he got knocked out in Q number 1. But Award did not. So let's go ahead, hop on board with Romain Grosjean and see who he is battling with. He is currently battling with Lewis Hamilton, and let's see if we are able to overtake Lewis. And that's exactly what happens, is Grosjean's able to overtake Lewis Hamilton early on in the race. That is not going to last very long, but it's a good sign that Grosjean's feeling good for the Mexican Grand Prix. But we do want Award. This is his home Grand Prix right here. We want him to do well as well. Award is stuck in a battle with Zhou Guanyu. Zhou has the better tires, but we are ultimately going to prevail, so we're going to pull through to 18th with Award. And now we're going to try to pick off Ocon. Grosjean's doing a great job staying connected with Lance Stroll, so his DRS wing is going to open up, and he's going to pull to the tail of Lance, and then Award is going to look down the inside of Esteban Ocon. Thinks a little bit better of it, so he backs out just a little, and then the next plan of attack is on the home straight in front of the pit lane, and both drivers should have some DRS to play with as we are able to keep up with everybody so far. Our Award's going to move to the outside here of Ocon, trying to pull the move one more time, but Ocon has better straight line speed. We're going to take the inside, and then we're going to be slightly blocked off by the other Alpine. Then we're pushed into the grass a little bit, and we are going to end up with the overtake on Ocon. I don't know if that was totally legal. That looks like we cut a corner. And then as that was happening, Grosjean gets overtaken by Hamilton, which really isn't a surprise. Hamilton will probably end up in the top 10 somewhere. And we will not with Grosjean, basically. And so I'm actually going to go ahead and cut the battery on Award because it looks like we're going to be able to take Gasly here soon. If we can help it, I would rather not take Gasly right here on this DRS straight. I would much rather, so I'm going to actually throw him on low overtake aggression. I want him to pull right up to the rear wing. We're going to throw it back onto the medium overtake aggression because I want him to try to take him now. All right, we're going to try to take him on that long straight so that we can ditch Gasly as quickly as possible. And so, oh no! Award! You're terrible! You idiot! You are an idiot!
Contact with the wall. And that won't do their confidence any good.
Yellow.
Honestly, he crashed in qualifying. All right, and so I had to replace a bunch of parts. He crashed in qualifying, and then he spins out in the race like an absolute moron. All right, I'm okay. All right, it really does. So I do have a question. I do have a question as we're kind of just rolling around now. I do have a question. Is Award has cost us so much money this year. Do I get rid of him? Do we cut our losses and go, you know what, dude? He has single-handedly probably cost us half of our budget. Half of our cost cap has gone to replacing parts on Award. Almost literally. So on a creative team, you start off with 60 million. One race, we almost spent 20. We almost spent 20 million in one race, and that was not his only crash of the season. And there goes Ocon. That's okay. Ocon can go by us here because we're going to deploy, and we're going to try to make the turn one more time here. And so here we go. Now we are going to try to make this turn without crashing. Don't spin out, Award! All right, Award didn't spin out this time. And so now we should catch DRS. We should catch DRS. We should catch DRS. Where is our DRS? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think I didn't even see this. Oh, he has rear wing damage to the point where his DRS doesn't work. Award's DRS doesn't work. How is that minor damage when your DRS wing can't open up? His spin made it so that his DRS can't open. He's got to spend the rest of the race with no DRS. Oh, this is just fantastic. Oh, this is fantastic. Award has injured his car enough on what, lap 3? Lap 3 or 4? Something like that. I wasn't looking at the laps. It was super early. And we have such a disadvantage because the moron spun. You were going to overtake him. I'm done with Award, man. I'm just done with him. I'm done. I spent over $30 million. Half of the budget. Half of the budget to pay you and Grosjean. I mean, half of our budget went to repairing your car. Yours. And now I've got to spend... Where are you going, Award? Get on the track!
All to play for.
I'm getting rid of... I want to get rid of Award. Comment down below if you want me to get rid of Award.
3.5 seconds.
Or if I should. I'm thinking, like, if we do, let's just scheme some things. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit because this race is kind of done for Award. So we're just going to focus on Grosjean today. Just focus on Grosjean. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. And my question is this, is as we're jumping forward a little bit here, is do we get rid of Award because of how much money he has cost us over the past, I don't know, year? Because I'm not exaggerating on how much money he has actually cost us. Grosjean fell out of DRS range of Sargent, so we're going to go ahead and use a little bit of battery to try to catch back up to Sargent here and catch him on the next DRS straight. And I guess my question is, who do we replace him with? Do we replace him with Hadjar? I think that would be fun. I like Isaac Hadjar would be fun. Take somebody away from Red Bull. Is there somebody in the McLaren pipeline that we can go and take? Since we hate McLaren, is there like an up-and-coming McLaren driver that everybody's super excited about? So I know about Hadjar. I know about Isaac. Isaac is Hadjar. I was thinking. We know about Ollie Behrman. We also know about Colapinto. But he's not nearly as good in this game as he is in real life. P.S. Colapinto, so much better than Sargent as an American. He is much, much
Next
better.
class, Sergeant.
And so there we go. We're able to get rid of Sargent there. Fantastic. And we're going to actually leave this on to try to get a better exit into the next DRS straight as well that we're going to have DRS for and try to drive away from Sargent a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to throw it on regular fuel, throw Award on regular fuel.
Get back to doing
And so who do we replace him with? I guess is the question that we want to ask. We could try to go grab Behrman. But is there somebody in McLaren? If there's somebody in McLaren, go ahead and comment down below. I'm going to go ahead and look. If somebody is good enough, I want somebody who is close to maybe a 76 or above. I know Award's going to be probably an 81 by the end of the season, but he's just not worth keeping around if he's just going to crash. It's just not worth keeping around if he's going to crash. Hulkenberg has a mechanical issue, and Award is pretty far out in front of everybody currently. And let's see if we can keep a hold of a good position with Grosjean. All right, so here comes Award into the pit lane. Grosjean into the pit lane. Award has 2 laps left. And so Grosjean's coming into the pit lane now, and we're going to get him out a 2.365. Nice! I think that's our fastest pit stop of the year. That might be our fastest pit stop of the year. That is a fantastic pit stop for us. And so hopefully it gets even better with Randeep coming in next year. Award has his one last lap. So Grosjean's now going to go. We're going to go aggressive. Go ahead and try to get him all warmed up. And then, well, let's see what happens. And Joe has us there, and so we're going to try to get Joe here in a second. All right, so Award's in the pits. Grosjean's trying to track down Joe right now so that we can get into his DRS range by the end of the lap. Looks like that will probably happen. But Award's pulling it right into the pit stall now, and they're going to get him out at a 2.531. Not terrible, not great, but not terrible. And now he is on some reds, so some soft tires, and he's going to go light on these soft tires to try to make him last as long as he can. And it looks like Grosjean's now in the spot where he can possibly take Joe eventually. And Award, we're just going to let you roll around there just like so, because you have no rear wing, which is just plain fantastic. The final corner here, so the final corner. And it looks like Albon has developed some issues, and so hopefully some more people will retire so that Award can make it a little bit further. And so Grosjean gets a fantastic exit here out, and so we're going to go up the inside. We're going to now go down the outside where it looks like Ocon is making some issues for us there, and then we make a clean pass on Joe. We're going to deploy right out of this corner because we're going to try to really just fly right past Joe, have no issues with Joe anymore. As we have a little bit of DRS, he's going to be over 2 seconds behind once we are out of these few turns. All right, so Award is actually going to make the pass on Albon. He passes Albon. I'm checking Albon's tires right now. Albon also has mechanical issues as well. And so we might be able to finish easily above Albon, as our DRS wing does not work. Oh, Albon just came out of the pits just a lap or so ago. But something is wrong with Albon's car. I think that he might not, I think his ERS might not be working. And so that's not great for him, but it is for us. And so we're going to actually, to be able to complete passes, we're going to have to use battery to complete passes with Award, as he fails to complete the pass there. Hopefully what we can do is get a fantastic exit. The better exit we can get. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if he has any sort of battery going for him. But here we go. So now we are looking at the rear wing of Albon, trying to get Albon behind us the best that we possibly can. All right, so we're going to move to the inside, swap back out to the outside of Albon. If we had our DRS, we would whip right around this guy, and that's going to be his problem all day long. Grosjean is actually doing a really good job. Hulkenberg, Sargent, and Gasly have not pitted yet, and the undercut has very much worked on some of these guys. So all the way to Sargent, he is less than a pit stop away, and so he'll end up about 10 to 15 seconds in front of these guys. Hulkenberg and Sargent have now dove into the pit, so we're going to see how far out in front Grosjean gets. The leaders are right behind Grosjean, And so you can actually see the Papaya are right there. And so Piastri and Norris are 1-2 right now. And then Verstappen is also on the straight. And so Hulkenberg's actually going to have an issue, and he's going to drop below O'Ward. And I think Sargent's going to come out right before O'Ward. But that is going to make it, that is a massive difference. All right, so Sargent is almost 9 seconds behind, and it looks like Hulkenberg is even farther behind us. Something's happened to Grosjean. Something's happened to Grosjean. Be okay. Please be okay.
Yellow flag here.
All right, nothing for us. Here's the crash. Something happened to Grosjean. It was getting into a hornet's nest. So Grosjean and Daniel Ricciardo were fighting. That's not Grosjean's fault. He left Daniel Ricciardo enough space. I mean, Danny Rick might have need to use some grass, but who hasn't done that to O'Ward today? Like, let's be honest. Sargent was able to get by Grosjean, and now Grosjean had to relent for one of the Ferraris, and now we are very much behind Logan Sargent, but we do have DRS, and so we're able to launch out of our DRS here and start pulling in Logan once. I'm hoping the Ferrari takes him on one of these turns, because that's really going to help us. Yep, there's the delay on Logan, and now we're going to be able to catch the rear wing of Logan again. We're not going to be able to pass him here, and that's okay. We just need to get close enough so that we can get DRS on the back half of that straight as well, and we are not going to be able to accomplish that. All right, so we're pitting with O'Ward. He's dropped back just a little bit, but Joe and Albon should easily be taken. Grosjean is now struggling on his tires as well, but that should be solved by a good run on the soft tires here. And so a 2.768 is not great for us. It's not air level, but you can see the damage on his rear wing that just doesn't allow it to open up anymore because of the lap 3 spin. All right, there's the yellow flag. It says multiple cars have crashed. Let's see what's happened. Let's see if it's just a few kind of dust ups. That's what it seems like it is. George Russell is trying to, I don't know if that's Grosjean or if that's O'Ward, but we get hit.
But there was
I think Russell deserves a little bit of a penalty for that one. With a 2.5, there is another yellow flag. There's another yellow flag. I'm not entirely sure what it was for. Magnussen locked up into turn number 4, which means his tires are going to be cooked. All right, his tires are going to be cooked. There they are. All right, so Grosjean making moves. Grosjean making moves. Let's go ahead and deploy. Deploy. You have way better grip than Albon. Let's get by him. There it is. All right. So Grosjean is now by Albon. He should be able to start driving away from Albon, but O'Ward really needs to have a bit of a chance against Albon. So we're going to keep it on neutral because he's going to get past, because Albon's rear wing is going to open and ours is not. And so we actually need Grosjean to deploy so that O'Ward can deploy. Magnussen is heading into the pits, and so we should be able to head off Magnussen here with Grosjean and with O'Ward. And there it is. And so O'Ward's going to try to get past O'Ward. Magnussen has a pit stop issue, which is not going to help him out at all. And so then there goes Albon just a little bit more. And we're going to throw it back on a neutral. We're going to have to regroup, reshape up, and then hopefully be able to take him on the next, on another straight, because his rear wing's going to open back up again, and he's going to run away from O'Ward. Grosjean's doing fantastic. He's starting to pick through the field a little bit. He has now gotten by Zhou Guanyu, or mostly by Zhou. Get out of the way, Zhou!
Nice job.
Push him off the track! Elbows out, baby!
Okay, Bottas is the next car.
We got a really bad exit. I don't know how Zhou is doing this, but Zhou is trying to come back at us, and Grosjean is going to shut the door on Zhou, and we're going to use a little bit of battery to try to get away from Zhou Guanyu here. All right, so O'Ward has a 2.578 on his next pit stop. These are the last pit stops of the day for Grosjean and O'Ward. And let's see how everything kind of shakes out for us here. Hulkenberg has now gone out. He had a mechanical failure, and so he ended up having to go out. Magnussen has another. I feel like the Haas just keeps having issues. I think he's locked up 2 or 3 times. I think he was the one who also had some more pit stop issues and stuff like that. So we're gonna get aggressive on these tires. We're gonna deploy. We're gonna try to make up some time on some people so that we can try to make the undercut work for us. And then Grosjean's going to come in and we're going to do relatively the same. All right, so here comes Grosjean in. Award still has his battery going. And now Grosjean, we are going to try to get out in front of, we're probably not going to get out in front of Award here, but we're going to try to get in front of Albon, tuck in behind Award, and then be able to use a little bit of Award for a, well, it's like just trying to sling around him for DRS at some point soon. Another update, Albon has now retired. So it's 2 mechanical failures. There hasn't really been any sort of crashes or anything like that. But Grosjean and Award are doing okay. We're starting to get lapped a few times here. And so that's really becoming the issue, is we're starting to get lapped. And so we're still going to try to catch Zhou. They're going to help us be able to pull Zhou back to us pretty quickly. But we're also, at this point, we're hanging behind some of the leaders as well. We are actually being held up by Sergio Perez to getting to Zhou. We're being held up. So what we're actually going to do is, if we're still in line like this, we're actually going to swap spots. We're going to have Award take Grosjean so that Award gets 18th, so that we get the money for Award. But I would like to be able to go get Zhou so that we don't have to do that. We can end up with 17th and 18th, and then we can kick the Salver behind us. But this is really annoying that Perez is just so slow. And we're going to be stuck behind Perez for such a long time. Grosjean, I want you to get by Perez. I want you to go ahead and just get by him. Get by him. I don't think he is going to be fast enough. And so go ahead, get by Perez. Bye-bye, Perez. Get out of here, Perez. And now Award, we're going to try to do the same thing with Award. We're going to try to get a good run. And Sergio Perez is much, much slower than us. And so we're going to use deploy so that Perez doesn't get close to us, so that we don't get blue flagged again. Yeah, we're vanishing up the road from Perez. We're going to now use the fuel for Grosjean to go and get Zhou Guan Yu. And now Award's going to have to try to take Perez without DRS. All right, so we're going to actually do something a little bit cheap here. We're going to go conservative, and we're going to harvest so that we can, in this last lap, we can see if we can get Award past our teammate. And we're going to also throw don't fight teammate, avoid high-risk curbs. Like, just try to get Grosjean past. Let's see if we can do it so that we can get Award to get past Grosjean, take 18th. Get money. That's honestly why we're trying to do it. I need the money. Go attack. See if we can catch him here. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead, fast forward, and there it is. All right, so we needed to swap places. Team orders. I'm so sorry, Grosjean. It's a little bit of a dirty moment for us. But we needed it. Honestly, we needed it to happen. We needed that to happen because we need the money. We need the money, and so he's going to still be on Don't Fight Teammate Award. Oh. Perfect. We got passed by Lando Norris. Lando Norris is going to win. Max Verstappen is going to come in second. This is a big moment for Papaya because Papaya looks like they might jump McLaren in the constructors, or if they've already jumped them, they might be just pulling away, but that's how close it is. So Award gets 18th. Sketchily. It kind of reminds me of McLaren this year, kind of giving Piastri the win after a really poor strategy by them. I feel bad that we had to we needed to give up 18th to Award because Award was the reason why he himself was terrible. He spun out and hurt his car. So here's the driver's standings, is that Carlos Sainz, for all intents and purposes, is the champion, and he'll be coming to my team as the champion. And so Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris is catching Max, which is really interesting. And then for the constructors, we have McLaren, who is now pulling away from Red Bull and is pulling closer to Ferrari, but I think it is too late with 4 races left. I don't think they're going to make up over 100 points. Ferrari's going to have some really bad luck. They're going to have to crash out the next 2 races, and McLaren's going to have to take max points to even make it competitive for Abu Dhabi. Because of the move that we made, we were able to get award a little bit of money, so we made a little bit of money off that race, thank goodness. All right, so here is the highest rated McLaren driver in their system, other than their current 2. So that's quite interesting. And then they have Bortatello as well. So he's a 72. He's not really good enough. We have Jack Crawford coming into us next season. But there are some good drivers out here. Obviously, Kimi Antonelli has been recommended to me. Oliver Behrman is also a good one. He is currently driving for Ferrari. And then Isaac Hadjar is driving for Red Bull. I want to know your opinions. Red Bull is kicking Verstappen out. I'm not going to tell you what driver he has signed instead of Max Verstappen, but Red Bull's kicking Verstappen out. He's out of contract. I've never played with Max Verstappen. Should we sign Verstappen? Should we pull off? I thought that Carlos Sainz was a major coup. Should we pull off Max Verstappen? All right, so a few other drivers that just have a few months left. I don't want to give away too much, but it looks like Red Bull has kicked out Sergio Perez as well. I have no clue who is now replacing him. That's super interesting. And so it looks like Yuki Tsunoda is probably moving. Ocon is moving. I mean, this is gonna be one of the craziest times that I've ever seen in this game. And so, do we replace the young Mexican for the old Mexican? Do we go and get somebody like Albon? We could go get Daddy's money. Lance Stroll looks to be out of contract too. It looks like he's getting kicked out. There are some really good options as well. We could get Zane Maloney. He looks like he could be fun. Awasa, Vesti, Isaac Hadjar, people like that. So comment down below who you would want. Okay, obviously, Max Verstappen is up here. That's very interesting. I did go ahead and offer him a contract, but if you guys don't want me to sign Max, I don't mind. But he is up there. Lewis, I think, is hardwired into going to Ferrari. But Max is available to somebody, and that would be an insane deal. We already have a deal done with $27 million going to Carlos Sainz. The problem with getting both of them, problem with getting Carlos and Verstappen, is that that's a lot of money a month. That's a lot of money. That's a lot. That's almost half of the cost cap in drivers. That's the one issue with getting both of them.